Well, good morning and thanks for having me this morning. I want to start by thanking everyone here at Friday morning, really around the country, around the Southeast, for the prayers for my mother. She has received so much love and support from all of you, and the White family can't say enough of just appreciativeness during this very challenging time. Keep them coming. If you want to go by and see my mom, she likes visitors some days, and just coordinate with my dad. He's the nurse, and that's a very good role for him. As an aside, I was over at my parents' house this weekend, and we really had some sweet time together. My wife has been really supportive to take care of my parents. She goes over there all the time. She's the mask czar, as I say. She's supplied them with cleaning supplies and toilet paper. Colin's wife, Nora, has been great. And I came back from a week-long business trip last week, and she said, why don't you just spend the day with your parents? So I was over there for 7 or 8 hours. My mom and I walked to the mailbox, which is a big thing right now. If you don't know my mom, she's a get-it-done kind of girl, and she walked in the backyard and she saw a tomato plant dying, and she said, Christopher, let's take that down. She starts getting the clippers out. I was like, Mom, I got it. So I said, yes, ma'am, it's done. And we actually had a really great time watching the first Dogs game. It was a little scary there at the front end. Colin was over there. He went by the package store and brought a beer and Doritos, which was kind of a nice addition to the party. Matt and Katie Lacey came over. For some reason, Matt came over in an Auburn shirt, an ugly Auburn shirt. I think he was trying to provoke me, and it worked. So for the next 15 to 20 minutes, just settle in, enjoy it, see if I can keep myself together here. We're going to celebrate the life of my mom, Suzanne White, and specifically acknowledge her contribution to this ministry and its cause. I think Bobby stole my thunder there a little bit, but behind every good man is an extraordinary woman. That was popularized by Eleanor Roosevelt, and with my dad and mom, truer words can never be spoken. In fact, let's take a few great men we all know. George H. Bush, Jack Nicklaus, Vince Dooley, and the Chris White, as Todd Harlow calls him, or Chris White Sr., they all have some admirable things in common. They're great leaders. They all achieved the ultimate achievement in their respective careers, and each credits their wife for their success. Now, let me clarify. Barbara Bush didn't lead our nation day to day. Barbara Nicklaus didn't make that winning putt at the Masters or win the U.S. Open. Barbara Dooley didn't win the 1980 National Championship. Wow, that's a long time ago. But all three women are credited by their husbands as being the key to winning in the game of life. My dad is the first to credit my mom. He does it all the time, when he used to speak more regularly, that she's the one editing his talks, prayer warrior, etc. And as her son, I will second that. I know it, and I'm the oldest son, by the way. I just want to make that clear, Colin. Although she has always been behind the scenes, my mom, Suzanne White, is the MVP for this ministry that has changed thousands of men's lives. And I'm going to just go ahead and say it. She is the co-founder of Leadership Companies. In fact, there would not be Leadership Ministries or Friday Morning Men's Fellowship without her. See, every Friday, Bobby does his little thing, his little song and dance, which I love. He's the best one at doing it. He's even better than Charlie, I think. And because we gather here to become better fathers and husbands and sons and coworkers and bosses and blah, 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 blah. It's great, right? And friends by knowing Jesus Christ just a little bit better. And we've been doing it for 38 years. I'm not sure when it turns to 39, but maybe in 2021 when the world gets better, we just say 39. But this all started in 1976 in Philadelphia, PA. At the time I was 4 years old, and my dad was an executive with IBM. We had moved recently from Westchester, New York. We lived on the main line of Philadelphia, which is a posh area in Philadelphia, in a town called St. David's near Villanova. My parents were succeeding in business, and they lived in the right neighborhood, but were totally lost in the big issues of life. They had no true north, and were experimenting with all types of things for a bigger purpose in their life, like transcendental meditation and who knows what. I think we have all been there, and maybe some of you here today or on Zoom are there right now. Thankfully, a woman which is the core of our ministry, invited my mom to a Bible study, and the DeMoss family invited my parents to an outreach dinner at their beautiful estate. My mom accepted the Lord first into her life and made Jesus Christ the Lord and Savior of her life. As the story goes, my mom came home from her newly found faith and said to my dad, "Chris, I just did something you were eventually going to have to do. I just accepted Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior." Well, that's leadership, men. That's courage. That's my mom, as many of you know. In some respects, Leadership Ministries was founded that day. Within a month, my dad accepted the Lord, and the direction of their lives changed forever. I know my life was. I was just 4 or 5 years old. I remember like it was yesterday. At this very young age, I was listening to my parents. They were so excited about this newfound faith, the new true north. And I was leaning over. We had a Ford station wagon with those beautiful bench seats, no seatbelt. I leaned over and said, "What are you guys talking about?" They told me, and right then and there I asked the Lord in my life. Within a couple of years, my dad left IBM and joined Executive Ministries, which was a division of Campus Crusade, which brought my family to Atlanta. Congratulations. After some great training, he started Friday Morning Men's Fellowship in 1982 with 4 men sitting down the street at the Rusty Scupper. I don't know if any of those men are here. I think a couple of, well, there we go. And that grew to 100 men within a few years, within 4 years. And my parents incorporated Leadership Ministries into a 501c3, and the rest is history. And that's why you're sitting here today or listening via Zoom. We have been studying Proverbs for the last couple of months as we're wading back into some kind of normalcy here at 1277 Lenox Boulevard. If you're still out there and you want to come on down here, we're here, guys. Thank you, Jeff Shaw, for hosting us. And we're going to get through this interesting year, right? But interestingly enough, this week was supposed to be Proverbs 14, where you can find the wise woman builds her house, but the foolish tears it down with her own hands. Proverbs 14:1. Well, as you can see by looking around, and over the last 30 years, a wise woman helped build this house with courage that has hopefully changed your life and thousands of other men's lives. A wise mentor of mine gave me a book entitled Tribute. My notes say, hold the book up. Here it is. Here it is, guys. I was fortunate enough to listen to him and read the book around my parents' 40th wedding anniversary, which was about 11 years ago. I read a 2 or 3 page tribute, and if you don't mind, it'll just take a few minutes. I'm going to go ahead and read it to you guys. Maybe I'll abbreviate it a little bit, because I do think it's helpful to sum up my mom and dad's impact on me and others. So this was April 12th of 2009. Mom and Dad, congratulations on your 40th anniversary. Our 10th anniversary, my wife Jennifer and I's, was about to come up, and I can say with a small amount of experience that 40 years is quite a feat. I wanted to take a moment to say how much I appreciate you and your marriage. You have definitely shown us the right way to live. The best thing you taught me is to have a relationship with the Lord. My relationship with Jesus Christ is the foundation for my life. It will help me through the tough times and balance me through the great times. Hopefully, I will be able to change my world to know Him. 2 additional gifts you gave me was the gift of hard work and thinking strategically. I appreciate the opportunity I had to work for my first car, my first house, spending money in college, etc. This gave me an appreciation for the concept of delayed gratification. This will be an asset for the rest of my life. I have enjoyed the ability to step back and take a bigger picture and understand how different people tick. Obviously, they started a consulting company called Leadership Development Company that now Ted Keeler runs and is off to the races. This has given me the ability to get the most out of myself and assemble teams to leverage collective abilities. According to the book, The Tribute by Dennis Rainey, children remember 3 things. If you're a parent, a young parent, you might want to write these down. They remember parents' involvement, they remember emotional support, and they remember parents' character. So I went on to summarize in bullet point form the impact that they made in those 3 areas. In involvement, sports, school, work, family, grandchildren, you have always been interested in staying involved, but not over-involved. Mom was always very interested in our schoolwork to where you knew there was no option to fail with her encouragement and support. Dad was always interested in me becoming a man. He was interested and involved in my business, whether it was cutting grass or becoming the best corporate real estate advisory team in Atlanta. Number 2, emotional support. Feeling unconditional love and support has given me a platform of confidence. When things are going well, I know I can be transparent about those things, and when things are not going so well, I know I can go to you, my parents, about my struggles. That's going to be the toughest thing about losing my mom someday. More importantly, I am realizing that I can be full of joy regardless of the circumstances because joy resides in the Lord. Philippians 4:4-9, one of my life's verses. And then lastly, character. A lot of times I can determine who has character by who does what is not always the easy thing to do. In general, you have to, my parents, have decided to take the road less traveled, i.e. start this ministry versus becoming a wealthy executive at IBM. Thank you, Dad and Mom, I think. And with my brother Josh, my adopted brother Josh, he came to live with us at 2 years old. That was a tough decision. He's doing great. This will be a decision that will be rewarded in heaven and on earth. I can remember numerous times you making me do things that was hard, that I didn't really want to do. At the time, I did not understand why you were putting me through the pain. It was all about character. Thanking you, Mom and Dad, Chris and Suzanne White, for taking on the hard assignments. Leadership Ministries is a good example of that. Thank you again for your dedication to making me a man and a man that loves the Lord. Congratulations on 40 years. Love, Christopher. Exodus 20:12. Honor your father and mother, that your days may be prolonged in the land which the Lord your God gives you. So there's a benefit of honoring your mom and dad. You're going to live a long life. Not that you need a benefit. In summary, this today and on Zoom, virtually and in person, is a celebration of my mother and co-founder of Leadership Ministries. She is a true inspiration and prayer warrior for this ministries. If I could only show you the dozens and dozens of prayer journals over the last 40 years, I'm sure many of your names, whether you know it or not, are in these journals. My mom should inspire us to do what we aspire to do every Friday, be better fathers, sons, friends, co-workers, etc., by being more like Jesus Christ. And pray. Pray, pray, pray. Pray in the honor of my mom. If you're having a tough time praying, just do it. Just do it. It's a powerful tool in these challenging times. He is in control. So Gene and I, we have a little surprise for you. We're going to pump my mom and dad in. To my mom and dad, we thank you, we love you, and I have a special treat. We'd like to pipe them in and close us in prayer.
All right. Thank you very much, Christopher. It's a real joy for your mother and me to see you younger men continue to carry the torch. And let me just say, my prayer is to thank God for the privilege Suzanne and I have had for the last, we met 53 years ago, but for the last 45 years, we've had a wonderful partnership, a companionship, one of tremendous trust, where each of us trusted and respected the other, and together we were able to do something special. That is my prayer. Lord, thank you for the privilege you gave us for the last almost 50 years to build something together mutually as companions, as partners, and I just want to thank you in front of all our friends here. You want to say anything, darling?
Well, yes, it's been hard work, especially on my part. But I'm very thankful for these men carrying on the vision, our little vision that we have had to bring the gospel to men, to be the spiritual leaders in their marriage, at their home, their work, all the things that all the things that you talk about on Friday morning. So we thank you for the privilege of being a part of what you are a part of.
That two people, a man and a woman who was the CEO of a very powerful company. This ministry changed their life. They moved up to Virginia. He was the CEO of a very powerful energy company. He wrote a check for $300,000 20-something years ago. We founded that foundation. As you can imagine, that foundation was extremely instrumental in helping us move from a kind of a founder-led dictatorship, my bad, to a board-led organization. That's been very strategic. But we're going to rename that foundation the Suzanne White Leadership Foundation. So. So join me in congratulating Suzanne White. We thank you and we love you, and have a great time at your tables. Thank you.